It was the early hours of June 3, 2011, when 20-year-old Lauren Spierer disappeared from the streets of Bloomington, Indiana. It was as if she had stepped off the sidewalk and vanished into thin air. Lauren was a sophomore at Indiana University, studying fashion merchandising. Originally from Scarsdale, New York, she was well-liked, outgoing, and had a tight-knit circle of friends. Her boyfriend, Jesse Wolfe, was also a student at IU. That night, he stayed home. Lauren didn't. Earlier that evening, Lauren had attended a small gathering at her friend's apartment. The group drank and played games before heading out to Kilroy's Sports Bar, a popular student hangout. It was there, around 2:30 a.m., that things began to unravel. Lauren was already intoxicated, according to multiple witnesses. Surveillance cameras showed her entering Kilroy's barefoot, having left her shoes and phone at a friend's apartment nearby. The patio of Kilroy's was covered in sand at the time, part of a summer promotion. It was common for people to remove their shoes, but leaving behind her phone was unusual. At 2:51 a.m., Lauren was seen leaving Kilroy's with a male friend, Corey Rossman. Video captured the two walking through an alley toward her apartment building at Smallwood Plaza. A few minutes later, they arrived at her place, but didn't stay long. According to Corey, they left again almost immediately. Lauren wanted to keep the night going, and Corey didn't object. At 3:15 a.m., they arrived at Corey's apartment 2 blocks away. Inside were his roommate, Mike Beth, and another friend, Jay Rosenbaum. At some point during this visit, a brief altercation occurred in the hallway. According to Mike Beth, another student confronted Corey, reportedly upset about the condition Lauren was in, and punched him in the face. Corey would later claim he had little memory of the rest of the night due to this blow. At 3:30 a.m., Lauren and Corey left his apartment and walked up one floor to visit Jason Rosenbaum, another friend of Corey's. Jason recalled that Lauren had a visible bruise under her eye, possibly from a fall earlier in the night. He also said she appeared heavily intoxicated, stumbling, slurring her words, and unable to walk straight. He claimed she wanted to go home, and he offered to walk her, but she declined. Jason said that around 4:30 a.m., Lauren left his apartment alone, barefoot, wearing only black leggings and a white top. Her keys, shoes, and phone were all still missing. Her apartment was only a few blocks away, maybe a 10-minute walk, but she never made it. That moment, 4:30 a.m., is the last confirmed sighting of Lauren Spierer. When her boyfriend, Jesse Wolfe, hadn't heard from her the next morning, he grew concerned. Texts went unanswered. Calls went straight to voicemail. He called her friends. No one had seen her. By noon, he contacted the police. The search for Lauren began quickly. Police canvassed the area, interviewed those who had seen her that night, and pulled surveillance footage from local businesses and buildings. Bloodhounds were brought in to follow her scent. It reportedly vanished near an empty construction site, less than 2 blocks from where she was last seen. Lauren's parents flew to Bloomington immediately. What began as a local missing persons case quickly gained national attention. Flyers went up across town. Volunteers, hundreds of them, joined organized search parties that combed nearby forests, fields, and riverbanks. Drones scanned from the sky. Cadaver dogs were deployed. Waterways were dragged. Nothing. There was no trace of Lauren Spierer, no clothing, no personal items, no confirmed sightings. Nothing to indicate where she had gone or what had happened. As days turned into weeks, police focused on those who had seen her last: Corey Rossman, Mike Beth, and Jason Rosenbaum. All 3 lawyered up. None of them were charged, and none were named as suspects. They gave statements, but reportedly refused polygraph tests administered by Bloomington police. Lauren's parents expressed frustration publicly, saying they believed some of the men were withholding information. Over time, theories began to form. One theory suggests Lauren may have suffered a fatal overdose. Witnesses later told police that Lauren had been drinking heavily and may have used drugs that night, including cocaine and a prescription medication called Klonopin. Her heart condition, known as long QT syndrome, could have made her especially vulnerable. The theory goes that someone in her group panicked, fearing arrest, and disposed of her body to avoid legal consequences. This theory gained traction in 2013 when Robert and Charlene Spierer filed a civil wrongful death lawsuit against two of the men Lauren had been with. The lawsuit claimed they had supplied alcohol and drugs to Lauren and failed to care for her properly when she became visibly impaired. The suit alleged negligence and suggested they knew more than they were saying. The case was eventually dismissed, but it reignited public interest and reopened questions about what really happened that night. Another theory proposes Lauren was abducted by a stranger. She was last seen walking alone, in the dark, barefoot, and clearly intoxicated. Some speculate that a predator saw her as an easy target and took advantage of the situation. But police found no sign of a struggle, no witnesses to a confrontation, and no credible leads pointing to such a scenario. A less discussed but still plausible theory suggests that Lauren never left the apartment where she was last seen alive. Some believe the accounts given by the men may be inaccurate or intentionally misleading. The idea that Lauren simply walked out and disappeared in a matter of minutes, on a route lined with apartments and streetlights, feels improbable to some. Years passed, and tips continued to come in, over 3,000 of them. But none led to Lauren. In 2016, police searched the property of a man named Justin Wagers in nearby Martinsville, Indiana. He was a convicted sex offender with a history of violent crimes. Cadaver dogs alerted on his property, and investigators combed through it for days. But no connection to Lauren was ever confirmed. The case remains open, and Lauren's family has never stopped fighting for answers. On their website, they continue to post updates, call for information, and remind the public that someone out there knows what happened. Her mother, Charlene, once said, "We're not naive. We don't believe Lauren is alive. But someone knows where she is. Someone knows what happened." It's been over a decade, and Lauren's face still appears on missing person posters, social media posts, and candlelight vigils. Her story remains a painful reminder that even in a town filled with lights, laughter, and friends, someone can simply vanish. And just like that, she was gone.